Number 1, Carlisle. Number 2, Altair. 3, Percival. 4, Leighton. 5, Greenlee. 6, Wajan. And 7, Haultain. Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I wanted to go over my Parfums de Marly collection. I have 7 bottles right here, and each of these I've held for over a year now, so I just wanted to go over my experience and how I would rate them after a year of wearing them. So obviously my number 1 is Carlisle right here. And just some of the factors I take into consideration are things like how it smells on my skin, obviously, but also things like the social situation I'm going to, the people I'm going to meet, and the time of year or season it is, as well as the usability. And at the end of the day, I think for me, it's really coming down to the question of if I could only pick one of these fragrances for the rest of my life, which one would it be? And as of right now, it's still going to be Carlisle. So I did want to quickly go over on each of the 7 bottles that I own and really my thoughts on each one. And for example, although Haultain and Wajan are in my least favorite section at 6th and 7th place, I do love the smell of them. I love the smell of all 7 of these. The only reason something like Carlisle, Altair, and Percival are at the top 3 is really because of their usability. In my opinion, they're really a dumb reach option and they have that mass appeal aspect to them. Whereas something like Haultain, although I love the scent, it's a little more niche, and I'm not sure if most people that I interact would really feel the same way about it. All right, number 1, Carlisle. I love it because there's nothing else I own that smells like it, or I think in the fragrance world that smells like it. It's very well blended. I love all the notes in here, especially the green apple, the tonka bean, and the vanilla. And the only thing I can think that smells very similar is probably the Boss Bottled Elixir by Hugo Boss. And that's minus the vanilla. But for me personally, I like the vanilla. And getting a sniff of this in the air, I do think it's one of the best fragrances that anyone can wear. And I've had a lot of compliments on this. I think this is my number 1 or 2 most complimented fragrances. And I've been smelling fragrances since 2019. Number 2, Altair. Not much to say. It smells great. Vanilla orange blossom, easy to wear, mass appealing, a lot of compliments. Number 3, Percival. It's basically my version of Altair, but in the warmer weather. And for me personally, I didn't want to like it at first, just because of how basic it is, and it smells very similar to Fierce from Abercrombie & Fitch. But it's a more niche version of that, and it does smell really good. Very fresh, very clean. Can't go wrong with it. Very easy to wear as well. Number 4, Leighton, the vanilla and mint dry down smells incredible. But to be honest with you, after smelling these 3 right here in front of it, Leighton, it just doesn't have the magic that it once did for me. Number 5, Greenlee. I love how this fresh green apple scent smells. Not, it doesn't smell similar to any of the other fresh fragrances I've had. I think the fresh green apple smell is really not as common as some people might think. But it is at number 5 just because I don't really reach for it or wear it that often. So one thing about Wajan and Haultain is, although they are last place in my favorite list, I do love the smell of both of them. And the presentation on both of these is probably the best from the house, just because Wajan has the gloss, the black gloss finish along with the gold caps. And Haultain also has the gold caps. I just think it looks more luxurious and impressive to put on display. But Wajan, it is a bit too gourmand for me. So it smells too much like Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner. Like, it smells good, but in terms of a fragrance, I don't think that I would wear it over something like an Altair or a Carlisle. Then Haultain, I think this is probably the most niche scent that I own, just because of the oud. I'm not sure if most people, especially in the States, really like oud that much. I do like it on myself, but for me, I think it's a scent that I have to be prepared to smell. And what I mean by that is if I'm, walking around or meeting people and they're wearing cologne or a perfume, you get a whiff of it, it smells nice, that's good. But if somebody was wearing something like Haultain, where the oud just comes off and you're not expecting to smell it, I think, some people or most people might be taken aback and they're not entirely how to feel about it, just because it's not the typical fresh and clean scent. It's more of a very woody and spicy scent. I think you really need to have a nose for it in order to like it. So I like it. That's why I still have a full bottle, but I don't wear it as much just because, for the people I meet and even me personally, I don't think it's a scent that I could really smell 24/7 or every day if I just get whiffs of it off myself. So just some finishing thoughts here. Haultain, when I first bought it, the fragrance lady at the store actually said it was her favorite fragrance on a man, along with Harrod and Wajan. Although she was a bit older, probably in her 50s or 60s, so it does make sense that she's not typically into the fresh and clean fragrances that most people are into. So I would say she had a very niche nose. And just to finish things off, I did have other bottles of Parfums de Marly. I did sell the others. The other one I had was Leighton Exclusive. So I did like that scent as well, but I don't think most people would like it just because it smells a bit too dirty in my opinion. It's really a dirty pleasure scent for me. Something that I would wear just for me, solo, but not when I meet people. And then other fragrances I've sampled include the Pegasus, Exclusive, and the regular. I'm not really a fan of them. They smell too niche and not too mass appealing in my opinion. And then Galloway, it's a fresh scent, but there's way more better fresh scents out there, including Percival. And for me, Galloway just smelled like burned linen. It's hard to explain, but when you if your hair accidentally catches on fire, that's the smell I got from it from the dry down, so I wasn't a fan of it. And then something like Halan, no comment, not a fan of that one. And then Castley smells like Sedley and Greenlee, but worse. So also not a fan of that one. Perseus, it smells good, but it's really something that I would smell in a department store when I walk in, and not really something on myself. So although I like it, I don't like it as a fragrance, if that makes sense. And I know the X-Rates just came out, the 3 of them. I have sampled each of those, but it's not fair to do a comparison because of the price, and since they are more, I guess they're valued as more luxurious, even though the price tag doesn't reflect that. I don't think it's fair to compare them to the standard line of Parfums de Marly. Sedley, I do really like Sedley compared to Greenlee. I think they're both great, but for me personally, Greenlee is just more unique. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the most mass appealing. I do think Sedley is more mass appealing, but like I said, I already have a lot of blue fragrances. I think something like Imagination, which I have, does Sedley's job, but better. And I think that really concludes a lot of the topics I wanted to discuss here. But to conclude, I own 7 Parfums de Marly fragrances. I've had them for over a year now, and my number 1 is still Carlisle. So thanks again for watching, and see you in the next one.